Yo, what the hell's up? Welcome back to Reviews with Jake, where I just got done watching The Odyssey. I was about to kick this thing off by saying, you guys know how I feel about Christopher Nolan as of late, right? But then I remembered I technically did not do a formal review of Oppenheimer, his last movie. As mentioned on a few occasions, it was Barbie and Oppenheimer that kind of gave Reviews with Jake its, reality check of mortality, we will say, when I paused for half a year while his health really started to decline. But that being said, I did go out and see a handful of titles during that time without doing a formalized review, this movie being one of them. So I do admit I was in a rather dark place when I went to go see Oppenheimer, and that probably does need to be taken into consideration here, but all that being said, I really did not enjoy that movie at all. It was expertly crafted, don't get me wrong. It was not a bad movie. I just narratively did not enjoy it at all. It was just such a long, not stimulating movie, and I will admit I am not the target audience for Oppenheimer. I am not really that big on history, so maybe I was never going to enjoy it, but all the same, I was just seeing so many people, reviewers and critics, just praising this thing, singing all of its praises, and people that I knew personally going to the theater like 2 or 3 times, and this is not a short movie. So just investing like a full workday into going to see one movie if you see it like 3 times, and I just didn't get it. I felt like it was an inside joke that I just was on the outside of, having no idea what was what, and it kind of annoyed me. But it didn't annoy me as much as his previous film before that, Tenet, which was a COVID film. I did do a formalized review of that one, and that one frustrated me to all hell. It was just so technical and dense, and at one point, I ended up getting behind on it, and I missed one scene mentally, and then it just left me in the dust, and I had no idea what was going on the rest of the movie. It never let me catch back up. During the final climax scene, I had no idea what the end goal was or if the protagonists were winning. I was just completely lost, and I was so annoyed by that experience. Now, the term shill keeps getting tossed around in regard to this film, mostly because this film has a lot of divisive political BS circulating around it that has nothing to do with the movie itself, frankly, and that kind of thing happens in this day and age, but boy does it annoy me. So for the people with that term on the tip of their tongue ready to throw it at anyone who happens to say anything positive about this film, it should be noted that this particular review is not coming from that. I mean, I will sing Christopher Nolan's praises over the years. He has turned in some fantastic movies, but his last 2, from my perspective, were not among them. This movie was kind of strike 3 for me with the guy. Like, if this one did not hit it out of the park, or at least make me interested in some sort of way and not a frustrating viewing experience, if this one didn't hit, especially since it circulated around Greek mythology, which I really enjoy, if this one didn't hit, I was ready to be done. So there was a lot riding on this film. I'm happy to report that this film indeed won me over. I mean, the cinematic scale at play with this movie is just phenomenal, and it's required when you take a text as old and epic as The Odyssey and put it on the big screen. It needs to be grand, and it was. The cinematography was fantastic, as was the score, very epic. The sound design was booming. The production design was on point, despite that being a very controversial sticking point at this point. I thought it was good, as was a lot of the practical effects and VFX. It was very convincing. The direction for this film was just amazing. It did a fantastic job of transporting you, the audience member, into these uncomfortable situations with our characters. It was the massive, terrifying scale of the Cyclops. It was the claustrophobia of being jammed into the Trojan horse. It was the fear and unknowing of a sea storm sent from Poseidon as you're on the boat sailing for your life. It was an immersive experience. It was the thoughtful camera placement. It was very strategic and dynamic editing. It was the booming sound design, or sometimes even the muffled sound in certain situations. It's like, there's no denying that Christopher Nolan knows his craft of directing, and it was on full display here. And the massive cast of this film all delivered. I mean, this was quite an ensemble. It's basically a super team. It's the upcoming 2026 LA Rams at this point. Like, with the amount of money thrown at the talent on screen here, it better deliver, and it did. At the same time, though, I can't be the only person that's kind of not really as impressed with the super cast films like this anymore. Especially this year, where you got films like Obsession and Indy Navarrete coming onto the scene. I personally think that new talent and new names are always better for a narrative than the people that you all recognize and know. That way you're not playing a big game of who's who as they pop up on screen while you're watching it. It kind of takes you out of the story. Especially when they're all speaking in modern American English. And I know that that's a big conversation point with this movie, and a lot of people were able to get over it, as I was for the most part, but there were a handful of lines here where I'm like, it's weird, right? It's weird that they're not talking this way with such an old story. Like, I can't be the only person out there that just had a hard time really putting that behind me. All in all, though, despite the first 20 minutes or so being a little roughly paced, the rest of the film was pretty well done, and it didn't really ever feel like the slog of a monstrous runtime that it was, which will inhibit a little bit of the rewatchability down the line because this is a very long movie. But all the same, I'm glad I saw it, and I'm glad I saw it on the big screen. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan movies like this that are an experience. I mean, this is why we need movie theaters. As someone that hasn't really been that impressed and blown away by his latest films, this did bring me back into the fold with Christopher Nolan. And to be frank, no one can say that this movie, or any of his movies for that matter, are bad. I mean, I get it, it might not be for you, as Oppenheimer was not for me, but no one can objectively say that these are bad movies. I mean, if you're looking for pure cinematic filmmaking, I mean, this is it. I mean, where else would you go? This probably won't be a very shocking thing for you to hear from me, but don't listen to the internet, okay? It's all fake outrage BS. There's so many silly things circulating around this film, most of which is coming from people that haven't even seen the damn movie. So if I were you, I would say just put the wax in your ear, sail past the sirens, and just go to the theater and experience it for yourself so you can develop your own opinion on the matter. It's that simple. I think it's all kind of a microcosm of the beast that is the internet. I mean, anything circulating around this movie. We'll just take the Elliot Page thing, for instance. Like, somehow the internet latched on that Elliot Page was cast to play Achilles in this movie, and everyone went crazy, which, for good reason. I mean, that is poor casting if he indeed is cast to play the most fierce warrior in like all of literature. I mean, come on, everyone has to admit that. But then the movie comes out and we all learn that Elliot Page is not at all playing Achilles. In fact, he's barely in the damn movie. Most people should be sensible, like I like to think I am most of the time, and say, oh, okay, in that case. But no, there's a lot of people out there that just still hate the hell out of this movie just because of a self-percolating algorithm is just kind of telling them to dig in on that stance. That is almost as annoying as the fact that Christopher Nolan, the studio, nobody came out to easily dispel these rumors that are circulating and making this movie so divisive. It would have taken one post, one simple sentence from any of them that knew better to just say, Elliot Page is not playing Achilles in the Odyssey. Would have been so simple, would have been the end of it. But instead, we got to the movie's release date and now we find out that truth. And why might that be? Well, maybe it's because this kind of a thing is rocket fuel on the internet. It's just gonna boost ticket sales. It's a gold mine and people love this kind of a thing on the internet, even though it is the most toxic thing ever. It's a wild, dishonest machine that we're all participating in every single time we open up X, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Reddit, just about anything for that matter. And that is everyone. Everyone does it that does any of this stuff. It's not just the people that think differently from you and you assume they're the ones being manipulated and misled, but you have it all figured out. No, my friend. Everyone's getting puppeteered. The left, right, everyone's doing a little dance here. Sorry to get on a little side rant here of the good luck, have fun, don't die variety, but it's just everything circulating around this movie is the problem. It's exactly why we need to put our phones down, put our defenses down, and just go out there and live life. I mean, not everything out there is trying to get you or needs to be some kind of political firestorm. Like, maybe it's just a good movie. If you like cinematic movies of grandeur, especially those based on old epics like this one, then look no further. Here you go. If you're not into that kind of thing, if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. I'm sure something else will come along. Does it have to be more complicated than that? But that is just me. What do you think? Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe to this channel to stay up to date with new reviews coming real soon. Stay safe. Thanks for checking in.